welcome to all of you. In this video, let's study number systems, which is the first chapter in class 9. We have already studied many types of number systems in your earlier classes. The number systems which you have studied is first one, natural number. We'll just revise the number systems which you have already studied. Natural numbers. What are these natural numbers? These are the counting numbers which starts from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, it goes on. Infinite natural numbers are there. And this natural number is represented or denoted by letter n. This is the first number system which you have studied earlier. After the natural numbers, you have also studied whole numbers. Whole numbers. Whole numbers include all the natural numbers along with 0. So, whole numbers is comparatively a bigger set than the natural numbers. Whole numbers are the numbers which include natural numbers along with 0. That means the set of whole numbers is greater than natural numbers by one element. That element is 0 here. And these whole numbers are denoted by the letter W. Natural numbers are denoted by the letter N, whereas whole numbers are denoted by the letter W. Then the next set of numbers which you have studied is integers. Integers. What are those integers? Integers are those numbers which include all the whole numbers, that is, it includes 0, then all the natural numbers, or I said whole numbers, 0, positive numbers and negative numbers. All these 0, positive numbers and negative numbers all are included in the set of integers. Okay. Then these integers are represented by letter Z. These things we have learned, and the next set of numbers which you have learned are rational numbers. What are these rational numbers? Rational numbers are those numbers which can be written in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers. Where P and Q are integers and Q is not equal to 0. Like for example, it may be 3 by 4, minus 8 by 11. All these are rational numbers. This rational number is denoted by letter Q. Right? Then see, natural numbers are denoted by letter Z, letter N, example 1, 2, 3, so on. Whole numbers include, it is denoted by letter W, include numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. Integers, it is denoted by letter Z, which includes negative numbers, positive numbers as well as 0. Rational numbers also include, it is what? Any number which can be written in the form of P by Q. Now if I ask you whether 0 is a rational number, then yes, 0 is a rational number because 0 can be written in the form P by Q. That is 0 by 1 I can write, which leads to 0 itself, right? So some more things of rational numbers you have studied. What are those things which you have studied about rational numbers? Given to you any two rational numbers, say 3 by 4 and say 1 by 2. You can give me another rational number which is in between these two, right? Either by making the denominator same, or it is like getting them into equivalent fractions. It is 3 by 4 and another one is 2 by 4. So 3 and 2, between 3 and 2 as such there is no number, so multiplying it by the same numbers which you have already studied. This is 30 by 40 and 20 by 40. So between 20 by 40 and 30 by 40 I can get 10 rational numbers. Now suppose instead of me multiplying it by 10, I could have multiplied it by 100, means we could have got more numbers in between. So what property of rational numbers you have learned is there are infinitely many rational numbers between any two given rational numbers, right? So given two rational numbers to you can produce infinitely many rational numbers to it, right? And whatever integers, or first natural numbers, then whole numbers, then integers, and the rational numbers, you know them to represent on a number line. Suppose now if I am taking 3 by 4, it is a rational number. We are representing, you have learned how to represent 3 by 4 on a number line, right? On a number line, marking 0, then marking 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4, 4 by 4. So this is the number 3 by 4 on the number line. Like this, you know to represent integers, you know to represent whole numbers, you know to represent the natural numbers too, right? So this rational numbers are also represented on the number line. Similarly, apart from all these, there are another set of numbers also. These are the number systems which you have learned. So in class 9, we will study something about the other number systems apart from this. So before going to study then another part of the number system, let's see the exercise 1.1. Okay. So coming to exercise first exercise 1.1, first question. See your textbook. What it is given there? Is 0 a rational number? Just now we have discussed whether 0 is a rational number or what. Yes, 0 is a rational number. Why? Because any number is said to be rational if it is represented in the form of p by q. So 0 can be represented in the form of p by q, that is 0 by 1. And they say, can you write it in the form p by q? Yes, written, where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. Okay, then coming to the next second question. What they have said, find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4. Between 3 and 4, you have to find 6 rational numbers. All these things about rational numbers you have studied in your previous classes. Just we are recollecting and doing the exercise questions. Now, we will make the equivalent fractions of 3 and 4. Now, suppose I take 3 and 4 as we have learned it in the linear equations. The number won't change if you multiply both the numerator and the denominator of it by the same number. So 3 I will write it as 3 by 1 and 4 as 4 by 1. I will multiply it by some number, that is we say by 10, both the sides into 10. So this will be 30 by 10 and this side it will be 40 by 10. Now if you look at this, if I simplify this 30 by 10, I will get back 3, and if I simplify 40 by 10, I will get by 4. So we have not changed the numbers which they have given. Now between 30 by 10 and 40 by 10, you get 10 rational numbers. Out of that, any 9 rational numbers you are getting. So out of that, any 6 rational numbers you will be writing. Like it may be, say, 31 by 40, 32 by 40, 34 by 40, 35 by 40, 4 are over, 36 by 40, 39 by any 6 numbers you are writing. So there are 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4. There are many. They have asked you to write 6, so you have written 6 there. Next, moving on to the next question. Question number 3. What they have said, find 5 rational numbers between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. The same way, here the denominators are same, so we need not make them equal also. So next step ours will be multiplying this 3 by 5 and 4 by 5 with the appropriate numbers. Usually we take to multiply it by 10, as the 10 table will be easier. So this will be 30 by 50. Again this will be 40 by 50. So how many rational numbers they have told you to write is 5. So in between this 40 by 50 and 30 by 50, you write any 5 rational numbers. Say maybe 31 by 50, 33 by 50, 36 by 50, 37 by 50, 38 by 50. 5 rational numbers between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Is it clear? Okay. Next. Fourth question of that. Same exercise 1.1. Fourth question. They have asked you state true or false and justify your answer. In the first one, what they have said you? Every natural number is a whole number. Is it true or not? That means natural numbers, every natural number is a whole number. True, because all the set of whole numbers is greater than the natural numbers, and all the natural numbers are included in the set of whole numbers. So it is true because the whole numbers include the set of natural numbers. That should be your justification. Next, second one in that, what they have said, every integer is a whole number. Is every integer is a whole number. What are integers? Integers include positive numbers, 0 and negative numbers, whereas whole numbers include 0 and positive numbers only. So integers are bigger set than whole numbers. That means in whole numbers we do not get any negative numbers. Therefore it is false. The statement is false. Okay. Moving to the fourth question, third part. What they have said is every rational number is a whole number. Right? Now rational number they have said 3 by 4 if I take, 3 by 4 is a rational number but it is not a whole number. Therefore the statement is false. So how do you justify it? You justify it by saying that rational numbers will include fractions but whole numbers do not. Therefore every rational number is not a whole number. Now moving on to the next type of numbers, those are irrational numbers. What are these irrational? Till now you have studied about rational numbers. Now irrational numbers. Those numbers which cannot be represented in the form of P by Q. Numbers which cannot be represented in the form of P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. That is, irrational numbers are those numbers which cannot be represented in the form of P by Q. For example, I will take as root 2, root 3, root 8. All these are irrational numbers because they cannot be represented in the form of P by Q. See, you may say that root 2, I can write root 2 as root 2 by 1, fine. But see the condition where P and Q are integers. Q is integer, agree. But what about this root 2? Root 2 is not an integer. So, it cannot be represented in the form of P by Q where P and Q are integers. Okay. Then, like that only root 3, root 8, all these things. So, now you have studied from natural numbers till rational numbers representing all those on the number line. Now, how to represent this irrational numbers on the number line? Let's look up. Okay. Like, suppose I want to represent an irrational number. Okay. Before representing that irrational number onto the number line, what do you say about this pi? What type of number is this pi? Pi is an irrational number. Irrational number. So most of you may be having the doubt. Usually madam we take pi as 22 by 7, right? 22 by 7, it is not equal to, it is approximately equal to 22 by 7. If you take the decimal representation of this 3.14, it goes on where the number will be endless. Okay, it is approximately equal to 22 by 7. So we always keep it in mind, pi is an irrational number. Okay, then moving on to this again. Now as I said, we will represent irrational number on the number line. For example, we will take root 2. So how to represent root 2 on a number line? First, we will draw a line. Okay, then we will mark 0. Okay, after marking it as 0, then we will take in a scale any, we will mark a point, say it as K, O to A is 1 unit. I am saying 1 unit. That 1 unit can be 1 centimeter in your scale, 2 centimeters in your scale, or whatever it may be. It is only 1 unit. Okay, 0 to A, I am taking it as 1 unit. Then again at A, perpendicular you are drawing, again perpendicular 1 unit, perpendicular you are drawing at A. This is 90 degree here. 0, say A to, this is 1 unit again, A to B is 1 unit. Then I will join this O to B. We will join O to B. Now, since it is 90 degree, now what I am getting it is OAB is a right triangle. OAB is a right angled triangle. Therefore, according to the Pythagoras theorem, what it is? OB square is equal to OA square plus AB square. So, what is OA? OA is 1 unit, 1. What is AB? AB is 1 unit, 1. So, this is equal to 2. Therefore, OB square is equal to 2. OB is equal to root 2. So, this OB, then this root 2 units. But I am telling you this has to be represented on the number line. Here I am telling the distance between O to B is root 2. Now what you do is take the compass, keep the pointer of the compass at O, then take the radius as OB, then mark it. Draw an arc such that it intersects the number line. So this line, this point on the number line represents root 2. Represents root 2. Clear? Root 2. Fine? Then, once again I will tell you, this is the way, and this is how we can conclude that OB is, the distance between OB is root 2. The same, once again I will repeat what it is. First what you have to do is, you have to draw a line, mark a point O on it. Okay? Then, from this point, take convenient distance, say mark another point A, O to A, let it be 1 unit. 1 unit, it may be 1 centimeter, 1.5 centimeter, 2 centimeter, anything on from your scale. It should be the same thing, 1 unit, okay? That we are not telling 1 centimeter, 1 meter, 1 kilometer, nothing. It is 1 unit. Then, at this point A, draw a line perpendicular to A. Okay? Then this is 90 degree. Then mark on this perpendicular line, you mark again point B such that AB is also 1 unit. Then we will join this O to B, and this is like this. Okay? Then what we will do? We will take the compass pointer, keep at point O, take the radius as OP, then draw an arc such that it will intersect the number line. Okay, this point is root 2. So we are representing root 2 on the number line. This is one way of representation. Okay, how do we get this as root 2? Now, as I said, once again the justification is OAB is a right triangle, right? Therefore, by Pythagoras theorem, OB square is equal to OA square plus AB square. OA is 1 unit, AB is also 1 unit, 1 plus 1 is 2. Therefore, OB is equal to root 2. Similarly, we can also represent any rational number in this way. Clear? Okay. Similarly, we will try to represent root 3 on the number line. So, to represent root 3 on the number line, first we will represent root 2 as usual. So, first we are going to draw a line, mark a point O, take OA as 1 unit, then draw the perpendicular, mark OB, this is B, also 1 unit, right? Now join O to B, right? So OB, as you have seen in the previous explanation, it is the OB distance is root 2. Then keeping OB as the base, for B you draw the perpendicular 90 degree. Then mark it as point C. This B to C is also 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit. Fine. Then join O to C. Then look at this. What will be the OC distance? OC distance, how to calculate? See, triangle, this OBC is a right angle triangle. Look carefully. Triangle OBC is a right angled triangle. Therefore, according to Pythagoras theorem, what happens? OC square is equal to OB square plus BC square. What is OB? OB is root 2. Root 2 whole square plus BC. BC is 1 unit. Right? Or it is BC is 1, I can say. Root 2 whole square is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. OC is 3. OC square is 3. Therefore, OC will be root 3. Okay. So, it should be kept on the number line. So, again take your compass. Take the radius as OC. Then, with O as the center, draw the arc. That arc will intersect. Okay. This point, mark it as P. So, this point P gives you root 3 on the number line. Clear? Let's move on to the exercise. Next exercise 1.2. See the first question in that exercise. What they have said you. State whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answer. First statement. Every irrational number is a real number. Every irrational. What are actually real numbers? Real numbers include both rational and irrational numbers. Real numbers are the set of both rational and irrational numbers. Okay. So, what they have told the first question, every irrational number is a real number. The statement is true because all the irrational numbers belong to the set of real numbers. Okay. Then, moving on to the second part of it. Statement is every positive or every point on a number line is of the form root m, where m is a natural number. Right? So, statement is false. Why? Because the negative numbers cannot be the square root of the numbers. Like false, as negative numbers cannot be expressed as the square root of any other number. Negative numbers cannot be expressed. If they cannot be of the form root m, because these negative numbers cannot be expressed as the square root of any other numbers. Okay. Then coming to the third part of it. First question. Third part. what they have asked you statement is every real number is an irrational number. Is every real number an irrational number? No. False. Why? Because in real numbers we are having rational numbers also, like 3 by 4, this 3 by 4 or 7 by 8, all these are what? These are rational numbers. So what it is? Every real numbers cannot be irrational. Okay, they can also be rational numbers. Okay, so the statement is false. Then moving on to the next question, second question. Are the square roots of all positive integers irrational? Square root of all positive integers. Now suppose I take square root of 2, it is irrational. Square root of 3 is irrational. What about square root of 4? Square root of 4 is 2, which is rational. Correct? Therefore, every positive integer's square root is not irrational. It can be rational also. Okay? Then question of that it continues. If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is rational. This is an example for it. Okay? Then question number 3. What they have said, show how root 5 can be represented on the number line. So I will come back to this. Root 5. Just if you look at root 5 to be represented on the number line. Root 5 is near to root 4. Root 4 is 2. So root 5 value should be more than 2. Right? This is the common sense. So we'll represent root 5 on the number line. We'll draw a line, mark a point O, take O to A as 2 units. We are taking O to A as 2 units. Why? Because already we know that root 5 is more than root 4. That is, its value will be more than 2 there. Right? Root 5 value is more than 2. That we have got an idea. So O to A is 2 units. Then from A, draw a perpendicular, say B. This is of 1 unit. Main idea is using the Pythagoras theorem here. Now we are joining O to B. Now OAB is a right triangle. Now what is this value? OB. So OB square is equal to OA square plus AB square. OA is 2 square. AB is 1 square. 2 is 4. 4 plus 1. OB is square root of 5. So this length is square root of 5 units, right? So this length I have to put it on the line. So O to B, radius you take, the compass pointer at O, then draw an R such that it will intersect the number line. Say this point as C. So this root C or this point on the number line represents root 5. Okay. So by this we will come to an end of this exercise 1.5. 1.2. Just look at root 5. See what calculations we have done. We have just understood that root 5 is more than root 4. Root 4 is value is 2. So root 5 will be, value of root 5 will be obviously more than 2. So that is why we have taken it as 2 units here. Otherwise, the spiral method which I had showed you earlier, if representing root 2 and root 3, similarly that also you can use with 4 steps. So like for example, you have done here, first step you have done root 2. For root 2 you have taken 1 unit here. Then here again this was root 2. Then again you constructed this, you got it as root 3. Then one more step you will construct, you will get it as root 4, that is nothing but 2. Again one more, same way. Then next step you will get it as root 5. This is spiral root, finding out the square root by spiral method. If you go on like this, it will come down like the spiral method. This way also possible, but this is also perfectly right. Okay. By this we will come to an end of exercise 1.2.